it is a brand new week, and welcome to another brand new episode of our weekly devotion. We want to give you this booster shot as you face the week ahead of you. Well, last week I talked about Peter healing the man who was lame from birth, and today I want to dive a little bit deeper into this. I talk about Peter looking at the man, and I explained that he possibly wasn't just looking at him, but he was staring at him at the same time, processing in his thoughts about whether he should be praying for this man or not. Then he garnered up his courage, and then he told the man, "Look at us." Now, it takes a lot of courage to tell people, "Look at us. Look at what I can do for you." Now, look at us is not look at me. I'm not talking about seeking attention to tell people that, hey, I got a new shirt, I got a new watch, I got new glasses, look at me. No, not drawing attention to ourselves. When I talk about looking at us, I'm talking about looking at me plus God who is in me, who is with me. Me plus God is not an I. Me plus God equals a we. That means the God who was able to raise Jesus from the dead is now residing in me. And First John chapter 4 verse 4 says, "The one who is in me is greater than the one who is in the world." And when God, who is so powerful, that's in me, why do I want to hide it? When there is a need of any of my brothers and sisters or my colleagues who are not Christian, hey, that's the time to tell them, look at us. My God who is in me is able to do far exceedingly more than what you can imagine. All things are possible with God. And it is the time to show God off to your friends, to the people around us. Maybe we are afraid to say, look at us, because we are shy. Now I realize in psychology, there is no such thing as shyness. I was a shy kid when I was a little boy. Yeah, I know you don't believe that. I was a pretty shy boy. Then I realized that there is no such thing as shyness. There is such a thing called anxiety. I was shy, not because I am shy, but because I was anxious about how people would look at me and whether they would reject me when I approach them, or when I want to befriend some of these people, my classmates or people around me. I was anxious about whether they will reject me or not. Maybe possibly because I have very poor self-worth. I look at myself in the mirror and say, you're not going to make it. You are not going to make it. And possibly if I remain this way, you know what? It would have prevented me from being used powerfully by God. But I overcame it. I said, there is a God who is powerful. Why I want to hide it? And therefore I work myself out of this, and I began to teach and preach and teach and train and do whatever I am now. And so when I'm standing in front of people, it's not about looking at me, but look at us, the God that's in me, that is you, that is now delivering this message. And God is using me as a messenger, as his mouthpiece, or as his hands to pray for the sick. Well, each time when we look ourselves in the mirror, guess what? We will firstly look for flaws. We will look for faults within ourselves. We look for the pimples, we look for, the mangled hair, or there's nothing up there for some of us. We look for faults. And every time we look for faults, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, something happened. When we look for faults, we cannot find God in us. Possibly that could be the reason that stopped us from sharing the power of God that is residing in us. Stop finding faults. Then you will start finding God. When you look yourself in the mirror, hey, I may be old and possibly now beginning to wrinkle and all that. When I see myself in the mirror, I see someone who can still use by God in spite of my flaws, in spite of my imperfections, because God is using me. So when the day we stop finding fault with ourselves, that's the day we can find God who resides in us. There are two things that will cause a person to stand up and say, look at us. Number one, it takes courage. It takes courage. Number two, it takes confidence. You got to be courageous. And you got to have confidence, not in yourself, but in the God that is that is now living in you. The day you accepted Jesus Christ, that's the day you told him to come into your life and take charge of your heart and your mind. So you got to have that confidence in him that's residing in you and the courage to step out in faith. Stop finding faults. Start finding God. Remember, the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. So I don't know what you're going to face this week, but remember, stop finding faults, start finding God, and start looking for solutions. If there is a problem, look at us and say, we can find a solution, me and God, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Amen. All right. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. So this week, remember, open your eyes to look for God and stop looking for faults. God bless you. Have a great week ahead. Woo-hoo.